Hi, welcome to the Rude Boys Podcast, featuring your hosts Kyle Long
and Austin Robertson. Are we still doing this show?
We're still doing the show, Austin. We haven't stopped yet.
Can't believe it. I thought we were done. I thought after that fight we had that it was like all that drama that happened.
That legendary fight between you and I that happened
off camera. It was all over our Reddit. The fans found out somehow about all the rude things you had said to me. All the racial slurs. And they were very concerned about the future of the show, but luckily we brought it back and we've reconciled.
Yeah, we have reconciled. We both split a chicken dinner and we called each other winners, and then we got back together and decided we have to record Rude Boys Podcast. We just have to. The people need it. We
didn't reconcile our differences totally though, because my side of the chicken was fried and yours was grilled. I don't know how we managed it, but everyone was happy at the end of the day, so.
Yeah, everyone at my Chuck E. Cheese birthday party was very happy.
Unfortunately, there are no animatronics anymore in Chuck E. Cheese's. They just have a very sad man in the Mickey costume, in the not Mickey.
In the Mickey costume, yeah! He's got the wrong costume! He shows up to Chuck E. Cheese in a Mickey Mouse hat, like, oh, I'm ready to work!
They really had to cut back a little bit, so they just had to buy a Mickey Mouse costume from like the 80s when they were still kind of scary.
They fire the guy, and the next guy comes in with the Garfield costume.
I'm Garfield, and I hate Mondays. Meow.
Oh, he's like, I hate Mondays.
Chuck E. Cheese is no longer open on Mondays.
Are these real things, or are you just making this up?
Well, I mean, it's totally real after the part where I said that the animatronics are gone. They removed all of the animatronics except for Chucky, and now they're even getting rid of the Chucky animatronic. So now it's just the suit that they have.
Didn't they redesign him too?
They did.
They also made him look all sleek and stuff, and then they copied 24 Karat Magic.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites.
Was that a training video? I don't remember.
No, it was like a teaching kids how to dance video.
Yeah, that's right. You're correct about that. That's right up there with like the Wendy's training
Wiggle
video.
your ears! Wiggle your ears! Wiggle your ears! Here we go! Who's that chick that's rocking California?
I'm going to assume that you're not just going to be singing it, and that there'll be a small clip for the audience to enjoy as well.
Oh, of course. I want them to hear the blatant plagiarism of Bruno Mars's 24 Karat Magic for a Chuck E. Cheese dance video.
God, it's interesting. Chuck E. Cheese actually has a really interesting history that I really like.
That's true.
And apparently it's really popular in other countries. Like the Middle East apparently really loves their Chuck E. Cheese.
Are you for real? Is that a real thing?
I know that they've got them out there, and that they're, I think they still have the animatronics.
Kids love it. Kids love the animatronics in the Middle East. That's a cool thing.
Yeah, it's a neat thing. It's tied into the history of Atari as well, and like all that kind of
I speak with such confidence, even though I don't know anything about it.
I looked into it just because it's interesting. I watch a lot of podcasts and YouTube videos by the guys. Like, there's a guy called The Company Man and Defunct Land and shit like that.
Oh,
They've all got great stuff.
Yeah, I've seen those. Those are good.
I don't think they've actually covered the Chuck E. Cheese story yet, which is somewhat surprising. But if they do, then it's like brilliant. So it's a great story. I think people should look into it. It has nothing to do with ska, though, so I don't know how it came up.
I was about to say, the beginning of a show usually have nothing to do with ska.
I think I'm surprised that they got rid of the animatronics with the Five Nights at Freddy's shit, you know? You think the animatronics would stick around after Five Nights, right?
Oh, right, because you think they'd become suddenly popular again.
They'd become popular with the kids because they'd be like an ironic popularity almost.
I think kids want toys. I don't think they want the actual animatronics. Also, I think the irony of the animatronics being scary is lost on actual children. It's just they're scary things, and children like watching other people be scared.
Yeah.
I think because that's just it. I don't think they actually want to see the animatronics in real life.
Yeah, and when they were actually selling off the animatronics to like the locals. So people have the animatronics just like in their garages now. And as a maker, I'm a maker guy. Like, I like to take shit and make it my own.
Yeah.
To program a little bit and sculpt and all that kind of fun shit. I really wanted one so that I could make my own animatronic. And lots of people are just like home brewing these old Chuck E. Cheese animatronics, and some of them have transformed them into Five Nights animatronics now, and they are scary as shit. They're really lifelike. It's
all right, man. Other thing we all wanted to talk about. that actually is semi-related to ska. The Aquabats.
Yeah.
They're trying to come back.
I mean, they're trying.
Yeah, they're trying. Keyword being, they got a Kickstarter going right now.
I mean, it's no secret to anybody that you and me are, like, huge Aquabats fans, right?
Oh, yeah, no, we talked about it so many times. Yeah.
We've got the fake Aquabats names that we have. We have our own Aquabats titles.
Yeah, we did. I came up with them on a podcast for different things. Hallelujah Monkeys, a Gorillas podcast. I showed up on a Patreon episode, and they asked me what would my Aquabats name be, and I said Rock Gleason was the very first thing I came up with.
Rock Gleason is
I would have 3 different drum sets.
Hilarious.
Rock Gleason's good. I like that one. I'm more proud of it after the fact than I was in the moment. What's yours?
I'm trying to remember. I posted it in the Ska Kids Alliance.
Did you really? Did you respond to that?
We were talking it with the Ska Geek, but he never gave us his. I don't think, or did he?
Oh,
he showed us old pictures of shit.
Yeah, he has some old model. He has his cadet.
He does.
He has his cadet card. Oh my god, I'm so jealous.
He does. He has some cool shit.
I know he's listening to this, and I'm gonna be like, God damn it, dude! I'm so jealous of your merch.
Yeah. Okay, you were Rocky Gleason, which is hilarious.
Foxbat. That's what he said.
Foxbat.
Foxbat.
Right. So you were Rock Gleason, which sounds like a wrestler from the 80s.
It does. It kind of does.
Foxbat just sounds confusing. It's a bit like Catbug, I guess. It's like something that would be animated on YouTube today. And I chose Admiral Stonewall.
Oh, Admiral Stonewall, that's right.
Because I wanted to outrank the Bat Commander, and that was the only reason.
It's not hard. It's not hard to outrank him.
And the Stonewall kind of plays into your rock name, which I thought was kind of neat.
Stonewall.
I thought it was funny.
What instrument do you play? You're a brass guy.
Right? I'm a trumpet player. I want to buy.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to buy a bass trumpet like crazy.
Ooh.
So I'm like the giant 6'5", like mega. I'm actually a wall. I'm made of stone and I am a wall. So I'm like Admiral Stonewall with my bass trumpet.
You're very tall. Yeah, just holding up your bass trumpet. That look pretty good, man. And in an Aquabat outfit, obviously.
Yeah, you hold the bass trumpet sideways. A lot of the ones they're really cool. I like them a lot.
Is that on your to-get list recently?
It's
You're gonna
high on my to-get list. I want to buy it so I can do some busking on the square out front of my apartment.
You want to do some busking, really?
Oh, yeah, I do, man.
Dude, if somebody listens to this podcast and then finds you busking, it's gonna be so funny.
I mean, I would appreciate it.
The one person in the world that somehow finds this and also lives near where you do and also finds you on the street busking.
I mean, I'll probably be playing a lot of ska music as well, on top of a lot of my other shit.
Oh yeah, I hope so.
So it'd be neat. It'd be neat. The bass trumpet sounds fantastic, so I'd love to jump into it.
We didn't even talk about what the Aquabats are. I didn't get a chance.
What are the Aquabats?
The Aquabats are a band that are like dressed up in superhero outfits, and they play music about, fighting crime, being superheroes, and also just some really goofy shit.
Yeah, they were Teen Titans Go before Teen Titans Go.
That's a horrible comparison, but I'll let you get away with it.
They were Teen Titans Go before Teen Titans went.
Before Teen Titans gone. Before Teen Titans go to the movies.
That's great. I'm glad that they gave Hillary Clinton the credit for that name.
Yeah. Pokemon go to the polls.
Pokemon go to the polls.
I still make fun of that to this day.
It's still funny. It's still funny to this day. Oh, God. Alright, anyway. I love the Aquabats. I got into them in high school. I love their TV show, The Aquabat Super Show, which aired on the Hub from, 2013 to 2015, I want to say. It was 2012 to 2014.
Was it still airing when the Hub rebranded to, Discovery Kids or something?
Yeah, it was. It was still airing, and then, shortly after the Hub got shut down.
It's a shame.
Discovery was like, I'm going to stop putting money into this, and then they made Discovery Family instead, and then, didn't bring it back.
Wasn't My Little Pony also on the Hub? Did it get moved over? Or was it canceled?
No, it got moved over. Broadcast? No, it's still going. Ponies is 9 seasons in right now.
It's still going?
It's still going. You better believe it.
Jesus Christ.
My Little Pony is still going. It's lasting so long. It's probably going to last a decade at this point.
It's the Simpsons of kids shows.
Yeah, because The Simpsons isn't really a kid show. Kids can watch it, but I mean, there's a lot of adult jokes in it.
I'm all for it keeping going. I just hope the quality is still kind of what I remember it was like. So
It's debatable.
Okay,
I mean,
that was
other shows have surpassed it.
That was the most real reaction I could have gotten from you on that one.
You can hear me waggling my hand, like,
Yeah.
maybe steer clear.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a big fan of Steven Universe, and that kind of pulled me away from that whole scene back in the day.
Yeah, you got into Steven. I couldn't get into that.
I really liked it. It's still really good from what I've seen, but some people are starting to brag on the quality of it now.
Yeah, so it's been on a lot of hiatuses, and when the show has come back, people don't really like where the story is going.
Yeah, I think that's a problem with the audience more than the show, though, because people create their own like headcanon shit, and at any time,
you're right. Steven Universe is absolutely a victim to Tumblr fandoms.
The Tumblr fandom where it's like, I own this. These are mine. You have to do what I want.
Have you heard people say that characters are like half property of the fans? Have you heard people say that?
As an artist and a huge fan of shit, that's awful and bullshit.
Oh.
That's the only reason I think Steven Universe is getting a lot of shit. So, you know, and also the Aquabats.
Right, sorry, yeah. Point of the Kickstarter is they're trying to bring the show back and trying to make new music. They haven't been able to. They just got the rights back to their show. That's why they need money to purchase new episodes, or to make new episodes. Because they had to buy them back from, like, various production companies.
I didn't realize that.
They didn't have the rights back. They just got them, and they put them for free on YouTube. So you can watch the episodes right now for free on YouTube. They have, like, all of them up there.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, please, go watch the show. If you like it, give them some money for the Kickstarter. It only lasts till, October 1st.
Yeah, we would love for them to get more funding for new episodes. I feel like they'll get the episode no matter what, if anything, because the Bat Commander is basically Mormon Bill Gates. So it's like...
You like that story, huh? Talking about how much money Yo Gabba Gabba made, which he co-created?
Yeah, I always picture him... I would love to see his house. It must be ridiculous.
It's really not that much.
I feel like it'd be a big house, but I'm just like, what would he decorate it with, though?
Toys, remember?
I know.
He collects toys.
That's why I want to see it.
He has a lot of toys and kids to play with. Oh, dude, friggin' his kids show up in the show, too, and they're great. They're really funny.
How old is his kids?
Oh, this was back in 2013, and they were, 7 or 8, so now they're probably, almost teenagers. They're probably, 11 or 12.
I bet he's, the best dad. Just, as a thing. He seems like a really good dude, so.
Yeah. He is a good dude. He's great. He's trying his best, dude. I watched his Facebook Live stream where he showed the 2 episodes of the first season and then took a Q&A with a bunch of people, and he's really genuine. He's really, he's trying his best to appeal to people and answering a lot of, nice questions from people.
Yeah, he's the closest thing Ska's got to, a Mr. Rogers, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say so. He's very much like a father figure. Just very playful and also childlike at the same time.
Yeah, we really want him to get at least one episode for the thing.
Well, they're also putting out more episodes of that, short series they're doing on their YouTube channel. Of the web series that's based on the Kickstarter, and MCBC has got to find the rest of the Aquabats and bring them together.
Yeah, I mean...
It's very Scooby-Doo.
I would like if they just did more YouTube content, honestly.
Yeah, really, that's what people have been waiting for a long time, but I think they've just been obsessed with trying to get the show back. They just haven't been doing it.
I want an album more than the show, honestly, though.
Yeah, I'm saying, I still want more music. I mean, it's been 8 years since High Five Soup, so it's already been almost a decade since their last album. Yeah. And I liked High Five Soup. I liked it a lot, so...
It's got a lot of good music on it. I mean, I still cry over the loss of the brass section, though.
Yeah, I get it. But, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, the band started out as a parody of ska bands at the time. And then they figured, you know what, we could just make whatever we feel like making. And then they did. And then they went new wave and more rock-oriented. And, dude, I'm fine with that. I think they're... The style of the band has never left, just because the brass section is gone, you know?
No, of course not. The Aquabats are always going to be the Aquabats.
Yeah. I'm happy about that, and I think they definitely deserve to get this Kickstarter funded. So check that out. Kickstarter, the Aquabats, new episodes of the Super Show. I love Super Show. I think it's honestly one of my favorite, kid shows I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, Super Show is, really brilliant.
Yeah.
Um,
It's got some great comedy writing from the Chapman brothers.
and I mean, I missed the brass section, but it's not like the end all be all for me because I think
Nah.
Charred is my favorite album from there.
Really? Charge is your favorite?
I love the music on Charge a lot.
Yeah, the synths are fucking great on Charge. I'm so glad they did that.
So, I mean, there's no brass in that.
My favorite is Fury of the Aquabats, and there's a lot of brass in that.
Yeah, they did, I was just looking at the Spotify, and it looks like they did an expanded remaster of the Fury that they just released.
They did. It was the 20-year anniversary last year. Yep. They remastered it and put it on vinyl, too. Nice red vinyl.
Oh, I need that red
Looks
vinyl.
really cool. I'm pretty sure it was exclusive. I don't think they sell it in.
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you for keeping me in the loop about this.
I feel like I told you about it like a while ago. Maybe not.
I've been wanting to
sorry.
buy more vinyl. I've got the Now sitting in my Amazon to buy list.
Oh, that's a great album. I'm really glad we did we talk about that album since it's come out?
No. I mean, I really love the direction it's gone since the last Gorillaz album. It's more of what I want. Like some kind of
Right.
a little bit moody, some more narrative to it. That's what I like.
And there's more 2D, obviously.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm of the opinion that Gorillaz really doesn't do political stuff all that well when they're really ham-fisted like Human C was.
Right,
But,
that's fair.
For this album, it's brilliant, so I'm glad they stuck to narrative. If we want to talk about a band that does political a little bit better, who also has their album sitting in my Amazon to buy list right now,
Coincidentally.
then we'll have to talk about While We're At It by the Mighty Mighty Bosstones.
Oh my god, what a segue!
Also, just to say, last week was my birthday and today is my girlfriend's birthday, so there's that.
Just throw it in. Happy birthday, Austin.
Hooray, July 31st. Hooray, I'm older.
Yay. July 31st.
Hooray.
A full week ago.
Bosstones
But hey,
album.
man, I'm happy for you. Yeah, Bosstones album. Well, I want to talk about the band first, because, God, the Mighty Mighty Bosstones are a great band with a huge history, and they're, like, the biggest name we've talked about, I think, since Real Big Fish and Less Than Jake.
Yeah, they're one of the like flagship ska bands.
I'm the one who picks all the big names.
I like to pick the weird shit, you know.
We'll get into the weird shit, believe you me. I cannot wait until we talk about the What Do You Know About Scott podcast compilation albums, because they're so long, and there's so many bands we have to talk about. There's so much talent just spread around everywhere. I really want to get to. I think those are going to be really good episodes when we get around to them. I'm sorry, I got really excited for them.
Yeah, I mean, I love to put a spotlight on things people don't really know much of,
Yeah.
just so that people can go out and discover them, you know.
Yeah.
Even if
Monkey,
they're
Something
not
to
the
Do.
greatest, sometimes.
Yeah, even if they're not the greatest, sometimes, you know, a band doesn't have to be perfect to get your attention. You know, they can have one thing that really, like, hooks you. Sometimes it's a vocalist, sometimes it's a horn,
Yeah, so
sometimes it's the drums, sometimes it's the keys.
so maybe I'll be able to bring up stuff like the Pie Tasters and good shit like that later on.
Yeah, I think we will. I think we're still early on in the podcast. We still got a long way to go. We're only like 4 months in now. I think we started in April, right?
Tell me about Dickie Barrett.
Okay, I will tell you about Dickie Barrett.
My name is Dickie Barrett. I'm in the Mighty Mighty Bosstones.
He's great. He was one of the original 4-men lineup that are still in the band today. It was him, Dickie Barrett, the vocalist. We got bassist Joe Gittleman. We got tenor sax Tim Burton, aka Johnny Vegas. So, not the director, different guy.
Johnny Vegas.
Yeah, well, no, Tim Burton is his real name.
Good.
But he goes by Johnny Vegas.
We needed like a Supreme collab with him and Johnny Christmas.
Johnny
Real Big
Christmas. Yeah! Johnny Vegas and Johnny Christmas, that's pretty good. I didn't even notice that.
There's lots of weird Johnnies out there in Scotland.
There is. And of course, Bosstone, official Bosstone, but his main role is a dancer, Ben Carr.
Ben Carr?
And they got a guy on stage, yeah, his name's Ben Carr, and he dances. He does not play any instruments. He sometimes sings along, but he is there to dance to the songs.
That's my dream job right there.
Dude, he gets the crowd going, he's got moves, and he actually took over as the band's manager later on.
Hold on. I need to look up a
Yeah.
video of this man going.
Oh, Ben Carr. Dude, I showed you a video, didn't I?
I don't think he did. Is it 2 hours?
I swear I did. Swear to God. Ah, there it is, right there. Ben Carr dancing.
He's kind of pudgy, right?
Yeah, he is.
I mean, look at him go.
Right there.
Look,
He's great,
Look at
man.
him go.
Look at him go! Look at this teddy bear of a dude, that's what I said. And yeah, here's the story. They went to play at a club when they were very early on. So, like, in 1983, they were, like, 16, 17, all four of them. And so they didn't even finish high school. The band stopped for 2 years so two of their members could finish high school.
That's
so
hilarious.
83 to 85, the band actually took a hiatus so two of them could finish high school.
That's great.
So they went to play the Cub, and the doorman stopped Ben and said, alright, look, you gotta be either 21 or be in the band to get in the club. And they stuck up for him, thinking it was like, no, he's in the band, he can come on stage with us, he's gotta come on stage with us.
That's hilarious.
And so he said, I can't play any instruments, but I know all the songs, because he's been hanging with them the whole time. He's been at their show, like their rehearsals and stuff, so he's like, he danced. He got up on the stage and he danced to every song.
That's great.
And he's been doing it for 30 years.
He's still just doing that just so that I can get into the shows. That's the only reason.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he didn't go out of his way to say like, I'm a dancer. Like I'm not going to college. I'm gonna quit high school and I'm gonna dance, Mom.
That was. I was skeptical, but I watched him do it a minute on stage just then, and it was glorious.
He's good, man. He's actually really good.
The only thing is that if you had not told me about him and I went to go see a Boston show and saw him going up there and doing nothing but dancing, I'd have been very confused.
Yeah, a lot of people are. A lot of people see him dancing on the stage and like, what the fuck is this? They got a guy just dancing on stage. But yeah, no, Ben's a close friend of the band, been in the band the entire time, and he said, you know what, I'm gonna do this.
This is
and
my
it's
thing.
worked out, man. It's worked.
That's hilarious.
So, okay, we gotta talk about the actual Bosstones. They are from Boston, Massachusetts, so the Bosstones are from Boston.
That's a coincidence. I would never have guessed that.
Never would have guessed that.
No, I would not
Well,
have.
they originally started out as, just the Bosstones, but there was an a cappella group that they were afraid might, do some legal stuff, so they had to change it to the Mighty Mighty Bosstones.
I mean, you can't be just the Bosstones if you've got Ben dancing on stage. Like, you have to be the Mighty Mighty Bosstones.
That's right, Ben adds a lot to it. Yeah, the original two of the members they had to wait to finish school were Nate Albert, the guitarist, and Joe Gittleman, the bassist. They were the ones who had to finish high school. I did write this down.
It must suck being in, like, a pretty... I mean, they must have been, like, making good ground at the time. Like, a big band like that.
Yeah, in the late 80s, so they would already be, like, 5 or 6 years in.
So it's like having to finish high school, like, just sitting in class must be, like, the worst thing. Where I'd be like, I could be with the band right now.
Yeah, when, that was your life at the time.
God. Well, I'm glad they finished their education that they probably never needed because they continued as a successful band for 30 years.
Well, alright, they hadn't put out an album yet. That's what we're getting to. Because in 1989, like, after they finished high school, they got a little attention and they signed to a small label, Tang, and they released their debut album after 6 years of just playing shows. They released Devil's Night Out. And that's my favorite Bosstones album.
That's a bit of a shame, though. I kind of hate it when their first album is, like, your favorite album. It's like...
Well, no, it's for a good reason. I think it's the sound. It's the sound they had at the time. It's just I prefer it the most. So, but at the time, ska fans weren't that into it because it sounded too much like a rock band, and rock fans didn't like it because the ska influence was weird to them. So it's kind of like a weird like middle ground between the two things. But I like it, and a lot of fans appreciate it a lot because it offers a lot, and it's really impressive for the time. Like, this was made in 1989, and it sounds like a mid-90s album.
They've got staying power, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, staying power is a good word. It's a good term to describe this band.
They're playing that long game.
They're playing the long game, yeah. And Dickie Barrett, also, the cover of the album has plaid on it, and Dickie Barrett started wearing plaid on stage when the band was playing songs from the album. And then fans started showing up, copying him wearing plaid, and that ended up becoming their signature style. So that's why they wear plaid to their shows now.
It's a little more subtle than the Aquabats get up, I'll admit.
Yeah, a little more subtle. I mean, you could wear plaid like anything. Anything can be covered in plaid, but Aquabats is like a very specific get-up.
Just a sea of jumping plaid-clad boys doing some,
yeah, sorry.
doing some ska jumping.
Plaid-clad boys. Plaid-clad lads.
That's
Plaid-clad lads.
You did it. You brought it home, Kyle.
Thanks. How can you give me a 5?
That'll be our Bosstones cover album.
Oh shit! That would make a great cover band. The Plaid Clad Lads. We just cover Boston now.
The Mighty Mighty Plaid Cat Lads.
Oh, that's too many. No, we might get sued.
Okay, just
We
one
might
Mighty.
get sued for using the Mighty Mighty.
Just one Mighty then.
Okay, that'll work. So that's the origin story, and we should get into talking about when the band got really popular. They released 3 more albums over the next few years. So this band puts out a lot of albums. So More Noises and Other Disturbances was their second. Don't Know How to Party was their third, and Question the Answers was their fourth. So already the band has some clout by the mid-90s, and their sound has become a little bit gentler over time. They didn't really lose their edge. Like, they still have some songs that are, you know, as you mentioned, they do politics.
Yeah.
They do political stuff pretty well.
They
also have some, like, angry sounding songs.
Yeah, I
still
would
capable.
say that they refined their sound.
Yeah.
They fine comb brush, get the little dirt off of there.
Combed over the edges a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to say right now, let's face it, their 5th album is by far the most successful album of their entire career.
It's
just factually.
It's an album I really do love as well.
Yeah, I absolutely love that album, and you know me, I got the chart info because I'm always curious about that. It took number 27 on the Billboard 200. The album did, but Impression That I Get, the hit that we always talk about from that album, which is huge in 1997, it hit number 1 on the Billboard rock charts, even though it's a ska punk song. And that's just where like ska was at the time.
Yeah.
This is like the peak of it in 1997. This is where it hit the highest. It hit number 1 on the charts. And Rascal King, in the same year, like 2 months later, took the number 7 spot. Which, that's crazy.
If I'm listening to a ska playlist somewhere when I'm working or something, and Impression it comes on, that's the song people will recognize. That are
Yeah,
just walking by.
absolutely.
They'll know
I
Impression.
still use that. Whenever I mention the Bosstones, I mention Impression That I Get, and people are like, oh yeah! Yeah. It's really cool. It's really cool that that song has such staying power and was also just really popular at the time. They took a top 10 spot on the Billboard twice in the same year. And then took number 22 with their third hit, Royal Oil, which is another one of my favorite songs. I don't know if you remember that one.
Royal Oil, I like
Yeah.
a lot. I assume it's about marijuana. I'm not really sure. That's what I get from it. When I started listening to them the first time, and I hadn't really identified their super political edge, I don't know why,
Yeah.
but I always thought it was about like marijuana. Yeah, I mean, what I love about the Bosstones specifically is that the way that they handle politics and kind of revolution songs.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
they're-
they do that a lot.
There are a billion bands that'll do angry revolution songs, but the Bosstones have like the chill revolution song,
Yeah,
which
that's a good way of putting it.
is kind of a sound I can give them.
That stuff is very like into old ska, reggae culture. That's very similar. They pull a lot from that when they do stuff like
But
this.
I think they're the best at it, really. They're like the guys for that. I'm glad that I understand that Royal Oil is a little more on the nose than I initially anticipated.
Yeah, a little bit. But I mean, it's catchy. It's a very catchy song.
It
I
is.
like it a
It
lot.
is very catchy.
Yeah. And that stuff was when Nate Albert was big in the band. So a lot of the guitar work, and let's face it, is because of Nate Albert. He's not in the band anymore, but he was really good at the time. Very good. Very, very, very important during their peak.
Now that I think about it, the guitar work was kind of better back then. It's a bit of a shame that we don't have the new guitar stuff like that anymore.
I mean, I feel like they just put their attention on different things, which is fine. When you have, a great musician that everybody agrees is great leave a band, it might dip in quality a bit, But also, they have to find other ways of working if they can't, rely on, hey, do a cool thing here. They can't just point at that guy anymore, because he's not there anymore.
Do the music good, please.
Do to me, yeah. Sometimes that happens in bands. You just see someone, alright, he can just do this cool little thing and whatever. We
All right.
can expect him to do good.
Nate,
we don't have to worry about
Nate,
it.
I need you to just kind of do a great thing here. Ben, dance more, please.
Yeah,
Keep
thanks,
dancing.
Ben. I'm gonna need more dancing, Ben.
It's the rehearsal, though.
I gotta have more cowbell.
Ben, buy 3 cowbells and bring them on stage.
Was he wearing them, or is everybody just playing them?
He's wearing 1. He's got 2 in each hand. Yeah, he brought
Is
5.
he hitting the cowbells together like? Dum?
He's an overachiever, Ben. I mean, you can tell by the way he dances.
But yeah, they got way more TV appearances after Let's Face It came out. They showed up on Saturday Night Live. They showed up on... I looked this up. This is funny. They showed up on the Sesame Street special Elmo Palooza, which won a Grammy, and a bunch of other places. There's a video of it on YouTube, actually. There's a great... them playing that.
I'll have to look that up.
And they, whatchamacallit, they tried to follow up their success with Pay Attention, which was their 6th album, actually.
Fifth album.
I wrote 5th, but that should be 6th.
Is that 6th?
Yeah, because Let's Face It is 5th.
Yeah. I was wrong
So
because I was reading your notes.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry. My notes are wrong, too. You know, sometimes I'm not the best. Right, but it only charted at number 74, so it cracked the top 100, but it wasn't nearly as popular as Let's Face It. And it's not a bad album. Pay Attention is pretty good. It just seemed like they weren't impressing people like they had before. That's an impression that I get. Wordplay there.
That's a bad joke.
They didn't leave an impression as they did before.
The less than Jake joke I made about the impression I get is a lot better than that one.
You're right. I liked your one better.
It was more convoluted and stupid.
I think the band has always been impressive. It's just a matter of other people like them or not. And yeah, Pay Attention was the last one with the guitarist Nate Albert. And Nate's guitar work is some of my favorite stuff in the band's earlier. So like I said, shout outs to him. And this album, Pay Attention, was also the last time they were ever on a major label. Because they were kind of fed up with how they were being handled.
Yeah.
And so Island agreed to just drop them. They were on Island at the time, and they said, hey, can we leave the label? And they said, yeah, you're gone. Whatever. Bye.
I mean, it's pretty cool. Sometimes you hear, like, albums, like, the label just will not let them go.
Yeah. And here's one of your favorite albums, Jackknife to a Swan.
Yeah, this is the one that kind of got me really into the Bosstones, actually.
Yeah, this is their first independent label in 2002, Side 1 Dummy Records. But unfortunately, the album did not even crack the top 100. It made it on to 131 on the Billboard, and did not even have a major single off of it to support it, which is unfortunate. Yeah, they didn't put out any singles.
Yeah, this was the album I listened to a lot in college.
Yeah.
Just like driving back and forth, and I like it a lot. And it's
I found more appreciation for it after you talking about it, so that's good.
Yeah, they've got some really, like, I think it's definitely chilled out a lot in some spots.
Yeah.
And the music that, I mean, a lot of it I can still just kind of hum along to today. It puts me back into the college days.
Yeah, it's good hum music, also, just in general. So, the band had, in 2004, so 2 years after Jackknife, the band had been non-stop touring for like 13 years, since like 91. And everybody agreed they needed a break. So the band went on a hiatus for 3 years, from 2004 to 2007, and they all did their separate things. Like I mentioned in an earlier podcast episode, Dickie became friends with Jimmy Kimmel after Jimmy told him he loved the band and his voice, so he hired Dickie to be the announcer for his show, Late Night with Jimmy Kimmel or whatever, in like 2004. So during the hiatus, like right away, Jimmy was like, hey, you doing anything? Dickie's like, no, come on my show. And his announcer voice is pretty good. I think he handles it pretty well. I showed you a clip of that, yeah?
I don't think it sounds like him at all.
Yeah, you said he sounds like a normal person.
Yeah, he sounds like a normal boy.
That's actually his normal speaking voice. The voice that we know him from is actually not his normal speaking voice. It's his singing voice.
I just want to imagine that it is his normal voice, though.
Yeah, you do like that, don't you?
I mean, it's funny to imagine him just going through his daily life like that.
Yeah. And then in 2014, I found this on YouTube, fun trivia, Dickie invited Jimmy onto the stage to play with him on his birthday, alongside Impression That I Get. And Jimmy, he pulls off the sax solo at the end of the song. He's really good. The dude can play saxophone.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I have a link to that too. That's pretty good. Look up Jimmy Kimmel Impression That I Get, and there he is on stage playing it. Alright, so after that, in 2009, they released Pinpoints and Gin Joints, which did not chart at all. Did not even make it onto the top 200. But it's considered a little better than Jackknife by fans. And the band was in better form. I feel like they knew what they wanted to do again. And it was a pretty fun album. This is what I consider the beginning of their era, which is just, we have our own label now. Big Rig Records is their label. They made it. And we're just going to put out what we want to make. And people who like it will buy it. And it worked. I mean, so far, the people who are still Bosstones fans will still pick up their albums. Magic of Youth came out in 2011, and it wasn't received all that well critically, but it was an okay release, and it kept their momentum going. I mean, you're in a band for 30 years, almost, by that time, and they're still putting out albums. They stuck to playing new shows for a while. They didn't really record new material unless they really felt like it. They just like playing shows, and they like entertaining people. You can't blame them. Sometimes you don't want to write new material unless you you feel like it's gonna be good, you know? Which brings us to today, August 2018, where almost 2 months ago, because I'm a little late, a new Bosstones album came out, and I'm super excited to talk about it. It's called While We're At It.
It's a good album.
It's good. It's a good album. I didn't listen to the album when it released right away. We had other stuff going on. I was busy editing the last episode.
I kind of had to push you into it. Like, when we were going to, like, you hadn't done it really yet. And I was
I'm sorry. I had other stuff came up. Like, June I was sad, and July I was editing the Sponge episode. So I couldn't fit Bosstones in right now. I just wasn't in the right headspace for it. But now, since then, I have since gotten into it a lot, and I've gotten my thoughts straight. I think we can talk about it now. I wanted to talk about it when we were ready to talk about it. I'm sorry. I know you were. I'm sorry. I made you wait for so long.
Well, I think,
I'm ready now.
I'm ready now.
I was ready a week ago, Austin. I was ready on July 31st.
Oh, yeah?
But to be fair,
It was my birthday.
other things come up. Yeah, it was your birthday. You're right.
You slept through the last time we were supposed to record, so don't give me that sass.
We don't talk about that, Austin.
We only talk about when you fuck up, not when I fuck up.
I just talked about when I fucked up for a month of not listening to the album I was supposed to listen to. What do you want from me, man? I'm trying my best.
I want blood.
I want blood. I want you to bleed my own blood.
Yeah. We went past it before I could mention it. But I'm giving Nate the official designation I gave some of the Tokyo Ska Boys for being stand-up musicians. He's getting the Chad moniker.
Oh, Nate's getting the Chad moniker.
He's getting it.
Nate sounds like a better Chad name than Oki does.
He is a plaid Chad clad. he's a Chad clad in plaid and a lad.
He's a plaid-clad Chad lad.
Exactly.
That's the one you're looking for.
Is he a dad? Does he have kids?
He probably does.
How long can I string this for?
Plaid, Chad, fuck. Plaid. I can't do it. Plaid-clad Chad, lad, dad. Well, he can't be a lad and a dad at the same time, I don't think.
I don't think that's
because
real.
he's not. Yeah, because the lad is youthful.
We'll have to look at the Geneva Convention, figure out
Dad
what the...
is like a fatherly and old.
I think they laid that out in the Geneva Convention somewhere. It's like on the third page.
Let's talk about the album, okay? This album is a little softer, more mellow than their old stuff, but I think it fits alongside Jackknife and Pinpoints. I think this is closer to the stuff you like than I do.
I mean, I like a wide variety of Bosstones, but this is the stuff that I relate to more nostalgically, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's fair. You come from this era closer than than where I started.
Yeah.
I just want to point out that I think this album is competent, and I think that's the word. Other bands we've talked about, sometimes they experiment, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. But we keep coming back to the Bosstones because they're consistent in that they know what they're doing. They're talented musicians that put out an album that they feel is competent with the rest of their stuff. They don't put out something that's completely off the mark with what Bosstones would be known as. And that's my word of the day, competent, alright? I'll skip the other trivia, because we just want to get into the album, I guess, so let's just do it.
I mean, competent is maybe not as nice as I would use to describe it.
What would you describe it as?
I would just say it's good. They're just good throughout. The when you say competent and consistent, it makes it sound almost like a mid-tier fast food joint.
Well, no, it's better than mid-tier. I mean, there are other stuff. I wouldn't use competent to describe their other stuff. Sometimes they miss the mark entirely, But I feel like this album is a little bit more bullseyes than 10-pointers,
All right, I can kind of see that.
Like that dart metaphor.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't really make much sense because I thought bullseyes were more than 10-pointers.
Yes, they are.
So
they're 100 points.
You got it backwards.
What are you talking about? I think this album hits more bullseyes than it does like lower pointers.
Wouldn't that make it more than competent though?
Yes.
Then why did you call it competent?
That's just my overall word. We'll get into it. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
I don't think the dart analogy worked out.
Alright, let's just get on to the first track before I make an even bigger fool of myself, if that's possible.
I've never played darts, though, so I didn't understand the rules.
Alright, look, Green Bay, Wisconsin. That's the first track. This is a good track to start. I think so. I think this is a good opener. I always love a solid opener. That's always a good how to hook Kyle into an album. Give me a strong first song. Whether it's a single or whether it's a song you just really think starts bombastically, then yeah, hit me with it. I like it.
It's a very good opener. Do we know why it's called Green Bay, Wisconsin?
It's the name of a place.
Okay, we don't know why it's called Green Bay, Wisconsin.
That's... well, it's supposed to be, like, this girl's small town. You know, she's have a boring life and she's fed up with it. It's just, that's the place they decided to go with.
Is Green Bay a small town?
It is for this girl.
All I know is that a football team is named after it.
Wisconsin itself is probably, you know, very small in terms of, you know, there's not a lot of big city stuff going on now.
This is the first on the album of what I have kind of termed as the classic Bosstones vague biopic song.
Oh, you got a lot of descriptors there. You mind breaking that one down?
It's just a type of song I've noticed the Bosstones and even other bands who I think are copying the Bosstones kind of go for, where it's like they've got a song where I imagine the lyricist has like thought of someone very specific, but they're only
describing a very specific character.
They're describing a very specific character, but only in vague terms. Generally.
There's a lot of references to things in the song too.
I mean, that's why it can like get. Sometimes they can get very specific about jumping on a Vespa scooter and shit like that. But we'd never hear her name. We don't know exactly what she's doing.
We don't. I think they want to make it somewhat relatable.
I know. That's why it's very. I didn't say it's bad. I think it's a great thing to have like a very specific person in mind, but write them very vaguely.
Yeah,
that's
true.
It's almost a bit like how you can have a game like Dark Souls, where it's like we've got a very specific lore, but we're going to be very vague in the way we tell it to you.
This is the Dark Souls of Mighty Mighty Bosstones.
I hope people enjoy that name. Yeah, but they.
We're about 2 years late to this joke.
It's a funny joke, though.
No, it's a year late. Never mind. Cuphead came out last year. That's when everybody was comparing that and Crash Bandicoot to Dark Souls. That was last year.
That's true. It's the Dark Soul of memes. Yeah, but they do this. They do the vague biopic song like 5 times in this album.
Yeah, and this is the first one.
It's
also my number 3 on the album.
It makes like 40% of the album.
Yeah, 40%. Okay.
As an example of someone who I believe kind of not stole, but I would say took this formula.
Plagiarize? That's my word of the day.
Plagiarized like an IGN article.
Alright, let's not get too specific. Come on. This might be not news tomorrow. It's only news today. We're very topical here at the Scribs and Rude Boys podcast. I'm sorry.
So, do you know the Planet Smashers?
Yeah, I do know the Planet Smashers.
They've got a song that is about a journalist.
I'm surprised we never mentioned the Planet Smashers until just now.
Oh, it's called The King of Tuesday Night.
Okay.
From the album Mighty, which talks about like a journalist and how he's like super into this journalist and the stuff that he writes. But they never name the journalist and any of that other shit. Okay. So it's called The King of Tuesday Night from the Planet Smashers album Mighty. Which came
out in 2003, which is quite a while ago.
It came out in 2014. 2014.
Interesting.
I could be wrong, actually. I might be wrong. I only said 20.
What are you talking about? Talking about Mighty?
I said 2014 because on Spotify, all of their albums say they came out in 2014.
Oh, they just put them on Spotify. No, yeah, this album came out in 2003.
Oh, God. Yeah, but Jackknife has got a couple of songs like that, too. The actually opening, the namesake song for Jackknife, has a great opening song about a vague biopic about a dude being chased by the mob, I think. Like they talk, it's really good. I love that.
That's
song.
a fun one.
It's really energetic. It talks about him in detail, like running away and jumping over the turnstile in the subway.
Yeah, I've heard it.
And I think by the end he, jumps in front of the train trying to get away from them. But it's like, it's super full of imagery, and it's a great biopic song.
The song is probably over by the time that we finish talking about this now.
Well, it's I mean, Green Bay, Wisconsin, like we said, it's a great opening song. It's got a lot of energy.
Yeah, the opening line with the guitar, like, "Would not let Green Bay, Wisconsin destroy it." This is the kind of opening line with the guitar that immediately catches me and reminds me that I'm listening to a Bosstones album. And it's good. I like it. So yeah, this is my number 3 on the album. Does this make it in your top 5 or no?
It's definitely top 5. It's got a great pacing to it and a lot of energy. The hook is great. Like
it's danceable. It's a danceable song too. That's important.
It talks about dancing.
Yeah, the chorus is about dancing.
She does the Running Man.
Yeah, she had to let the living part of life begin. I have to remember that line. It's a good one.
There are a lot of really good lines in this entire album.
Yeah, there is. I want to get into more of them. Let's talk about the next one though, The Constant.
This one is actually my favorite on the album.
This is your number 1. I saw in your notes. I'm not surprised. This was my number 1 before I moved it. I love it. This is so sweet.
I really love the synth opening on this. The little piano bit. It bookends. It comes in at the beginning and it comes in at the end.
Yep. I just like the sax is my favorite. It's one of my favorites on the whole album. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, the lyrics are fantastic and they're clever a lot of the time.
Yeah, the whole song is about being forced to wait for something in many different walks of life. So someone's always waiting around for something. And the constant is like time ticking away. I love the band going tick, tock.
That really helps at the end, yeah.
That's so good, yeah.
So you see it just says waiting?
Yeah, no, the whole song is about waiting.
I see it as more of like a...
So you die.
Well... It's related to what you're saying, but I see it more as like a working class anthem in a way.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I saw that in your notes too, and that also applies, yeah. I think this is where our interpretations come in.
I think it's closer to the reality because the actual music video that they put online on the Bosstones YouTube channel actually has just video footage of like 1940s factory workers on it and nothing else.
Yeah, see, it's a video, and as much as it is just stock footage.
It's that's true.
It's just stock. It doesn't take long to make.
I was listening to this kind of as I was starting my new job, and starting any new job, it's like it can feel harder than it really needs to be.
Yeah.
Because
you're nervous and there's a lot of you're worried about messing stuff up, and then there's a bunch of fucking. You have to get used to everything.
I was fresh off of the big order for the president, which was fucking with me.
That was interesting. Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, hopefully those are well received because I would actually like to get more orders.
You want to clarify what you do?
I'm an engraver, so
yeah,
I'm a professional engraver, and I had to do some fancy boxes for the W20, but all the production stuff to get me my stuff I needed to make the boxes was like super late, so I ended up having to make all 50 in like 2 days.
You had to rush it. Yeah, that was
And each one takes me like 30 minutes to engrave because of how detailed it is. So I was pulling 12-hour days, just like trying to.
Glad
rush
I didn't
this.
ask you to record during that.
Yeah, I was very close when it came to the end. I was only done like 2 hours before they needed to ship. So it's
cutting it on the wire.
Yeah, it was a good thing I got them done when I did. But they got them out, and I would actually like more jobs like that without the time requirement because I could use the hours. But just the stressful part of like a new job. It really resonates with sort of the hopelessness of working a job that barely pays your bills at the end of the day.
Yeah, I see it. The last line, when your time is up, then they'll let you know. It's kind of like being called at a doctor's appointment. But it can also just be, when you die. Like, when you run out of time together, yeah, you'll know it's over. Death will tap you on the shoulder and be like, all right, time to go.
You had a lot different interpretation than I had done on this
No,
one.
yeah, that's what I interpreted it as. Yeah.
I just saw it as, like, when your time is up, as, like, the boss just being, like they can tell that you definitely you want to be anywhere else except for work. But they're like, no. You're here until it's time to leave.
That's fair. But yeah, your favorite song on the album, I think it's really, really good. I think it's sweet sounding. I really like The Constant. The constant ticking.
I go on a lot about how much I love bridges in songs, like a break. on Musical Break, and this one has
Yeah,
got
great ones in here.
This one has got one of the best ones I've heard in a long time. The
Why
break,
do you like it so much?
the breakdown with if I am spoken, it promises broken, and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The way Dickie delivers it, and the way it's written, is very powerful.
There's really clever... Like, we gotta talk about how clever Dickie's lyrics are. He writes 95% of the songs. Like, he writes a lot.
I don't know what
Very
his
clever wordsmith.
I don't know what his working history is like, but I can believe that he was like a elbow deep kind of worker for a while.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure probably when the band wasn't that popular, band members have to take on part-time jobs, was because this doesn't always pay the bills.
Yeah, I mean this is a song that America really needs, where like 80% of us live paycheck to paycheck.
Yep.
It's like this is why the band does politics right, is because you thought it was just about waiting, so it's like
I'm sorry. I thought
it's subtle, but it's also incredibly powerful, which is why it's a brilliant song.
that's true. All right. Well, hopefully you won't hate me for moving it down from my number 1. Constant is my number 2 now.
I mean, so long as 2 of these songs aren't your number 1, then it's like I'm fine. Like you can have any opinion you want.
All right. So next one is "Wonderful Day for the Race."
This one,
And this is my first skip.
really?
Yeah, I think the song is a little generic. I think the chorus is noisy. The instrumentation isn't that memorable. I like the guitar sometimes in a little bit in the last couple choruses. That was neat, but that's it. I don't have anything else to say for it really. It's happy sounding. It's nice. I don't care for it though. I skip it.
I'm surprised that you'd skip it, especially since it is like the title track of the song of the whole album.
What a wonderful day for the race.
In the Dickie Barrett interview that I listened to recently, the only tidbit of information I was able to actually get out of it, because Dickie didn't really focus very well during the album.
You said, what did you say?
He speaks like a man of his age.
He shows his age?
He speaks
Yeah,
like a man of his age. He rambles on a bit like my dad and doesn't really say much.
Oh man.
But
well, I mean, it's to be expected.
yeah, I think maybe he'd just woken up or something for the thing.
They won't come up from his nap and say, hey, you gotta do this interview.
The only interesting tidbit that I was able to get from the interview was that the Wonderful Day for a Race was like a joke that his dad like told him when he was a kid, where he was like, well, little Dickie and his dad were out walking around Boston, I guess, and his dad was like, oh, it's a wonderful day for the race, and little Dickie's like, what race, Dad? And he's like, the human race, haha. And then
The human one, haha!
and then
He runs away into the night. Haha, I got you, kid!
Dickie never saw his dad again.
He's like, oh, Dad, what a kidder.
So it was kind of neat because it makes me
He's just
feel
going out
like
for cigarettes.
it makes me feel like Dickie actually had like a really good dad.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, if he remembers that from now, when he's this old.
Yeah, so I like that as a story. It's kind of nice that he used that as inspiration to write a.
But what about
a
the
title
song,
track.
Austin? How do you feel about the song?
I think it's a gold standard Bosstones song. It's like,
Really?
if I were to point at a song and be like, this is what the Bosstones sound like, it would be this song.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
This is what they sound like. This is like, it's not spectacular. It's a standard Bosstones song.
I think it's too noisy for me. A lot of their sound in other songs is like cleaner. I think this one, obviously, but I think it sounds unfinished. It doesn't sound all that
feel
polished.
like the noise works in the context of the song.
Maybe.
Because it's a wonderful day for the race, and it's not just a race. It's like the entirety of humanity. So
It's a
like,
triumphant song.
It's a triumphant song that can be loud, noisy, with a little bit of discourse, just like the real human race. And I think it works. It's got a very big sound, a very big size. It's got a grand size. I like songs with big size, just like a big breadth of noise.
I like big size in
musicality.
my songs.
I do. It's a great song, I think, in my
Yeah,
expectation.
well, Austin, it's not the size that matters; it's how you use it.
No,
Everybody knows that.
not to Admiral Stonewall. I think it's a really good song.
After this 6'5" tall monster likes this song, Kyle. Leave me alone.
I think it's a brilliant song. I'm surprised it's a skip. It would actually probably... I think it just lands outside of my top 5.
I guess here's where we diverge then, yeah. I guess right away in the first 3 songs.
I think we're going to come back on the next 2 songs, though, because I want to talk about Unified.
Discover fire, then invent the wheel. Make it feel like it was no big deal. Make a killing if you're willing to do what it takes, and then...
Yeah.
Which I think is a dramatic disappointment following Wonderful Day for a Race.
Oh. I think it kind of grooves by. I think it's good background music. I don't think it's that good for, like, full focus on an album. But it's good to put on. I think the drummer is doing a lot of work on this song. But it's not really that interesting. I also skip it, to be honest.
I would have removed this from the album.
You would just take it off, huh?
I would. It feels like a transition piece, but it's the full length of a whole song.
That's all right. After Wonderful Day for a Race, I mean, we get to another like slower song right after this. So I mean,
if they could have moved a lot of other, like if they had put Walk Like a Ghost after Wonderful Day, it would have been more.
Yeah, I feel like maybe this could have been moved around a bit. I think positioning of some of these songs is off.
It would have been better
paced. I like a lot about how to pace an album by its track listing.
Yeah, because the after Wonderful Day for a Race, like the momentum of the album is already like. It's like 100 miles an hour, and Unified hits me like a brick wall.
You just stopped, yeah.
I hate it because of how it breaks the pacing, and I think it's not interesting enough to really be on the album.
That's fair. I don't hate it. I do skip it. I don't want to cut it off, though. You know what, actually, now that I think about it, this is probably one of my 2 cuts. I think Unified, probably doesn't really need to be on the album.
It's just, there's nothing happening interesting. It's just really... The musicality and the notation is like very unified. It's all lined up in a line exactly perfectly.
Yeah, it's not
spaced
dynamic.
apart.
It's not what you like, right?
I like some dynamic. I like it to be dynamic on the top and rigid underneath. I like to have a firm structure with the dynamic
solid
top.
Foundation.
Yeah,
and a big peak.
This is just foundation. This isn't
just the base.
This isn't like a nice house. This is just a slab of concrete on the ground.
A slab of concrete.
There isn't anything for me to really work with on this one.
It's just a canvas, huh?
It's a canvas.
There's nothing on it.
This one, they didn't finish it.
Yeah.
They didn't.
Wow, it's funny. I think
forgot to put
Wonderful
the
Day
music
for the
on
Race
top.
is unfinished, but this song.
They forgot to write the music on top of it.
Wow, man. Ouch. All right, let's move on. We don't have to take too much time on this. Speaking of not taking that long, Divide. It's a very short song.
Yeah, this is the one I would have replaced Unified with because it's chilled again. It's a very chill song again, which again with Unified before it really hurts the pacing because now it's going on for too long.
Alright, let's theoretically say Unified wasn't on the album. Do you think this after Wonderful Day for the Race, you think you still don't like the brick wall, but would you keep it?
I mean, after Wonderful Day might be a bit of a hard sell. I would keep it on the album. I just think it hurts the pacing. I would definitely put Walk Like a Ghost after Wonderful Day and then the Divide.
Okay. I can see that pacing in your mind.
I do. It fixes a lot what's wrong with Unified. It's got more interesting backing vocals. Sort of a revolution song, which I can identify more with than Unified's message.
Yeah, it's a bit tighter. The backing vocals are better in this one, and the sax is actually better on this one too. I can hum to this one.
The sax is very nice.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
it's tighter,
only
it's
2
shorter,
minutes.
and I like it more. Yeah, it's only 2 minutes. Yeah, it's only a song, Austin. It's only a song.
I do like.
it.
Yeah, the Divide is another one of the songs which is like very topical, I suppose.
Well, we can talk about a funner song. We can talk about Closer to Nowhere.
He slammed a the table wicked hard and said, feel free to count them if you want. I had better things to do and knew that they'd be 52. I said, I'm good, thanks, acting nonchalant.
I really like this song.
This song is fun. After that little break there of songs I skip or are too short, this one is a style. This is a song I expect from the Bosstones. This is a song that I would point at and say this is very much the style of Bosstones for me.
Yeah, this is a lot more like
It's snappy.
yeah, it's a snappy song. It's a lot more like their older songs where it's like talking about a dude with a gun in a club, which I like. And I also like just how kind of bizarre the lyrics are.
Yeah, they are.
Like,
they really are bizarre. A little more somewhere somehow.
I don't understand what it means, really. Aside from being like disassociated from society, maybe, but it's like
Yeah. You pretty much nailed it, yeah.
it's just an interesting way to put it, I guess.
But, you know, the bass is so good.
The bass is
I
very
love that
nice.
boo-doo-doo-boo-doo-boo-doo-doo. And I love how the verses are really snappy. It's so tight, and it's really well done. And I like the opening. I liked it a lot. It was another contender for #1 before Constant took it. And then I removed that one as well. So now I pushed it so far down, closer to nowhere, just barely makes it in my top 5 now. So it's in there.
It's a top 5 for me as well.
Yeah.
And it's done a lot by how good the lyrics are and creating imagery, which I really like in Bosstone music, especially.
How good yet confusing the lyrics are.
They're good. I don't know if they're confusing. They're just kind of they're mysterious in a way.
Vague,
They're
one
vague.
might say.
They're
Yeah.
vague, yeah.
And of course, the "You Are Nowhere" bit reminds me of the Eric Andre show. The Questlove segment where he's on the drums and says, "Hey, Questlove's in the house. You're not in the house, Questlove.
You're not in the house.
You're nowhere."
You're nowhere.
That's such a great bit, man.
We had some of the ska chittering, which I haven't heard in music in a while.
Yeah.
Actually, I haven't heard the choo-choo train of ska in a while. So
The choo-choo trains. Can you imagine Thomas the Tank Engine Sky to go just right down the tracks?
here goes Thomas again. Just drives around Sodor listening to Less Than Jake. Can't do anything
I can
about
see
it.
that. Alright, so, but
Let's replace
let's
the
talk
fat.
about
Let's replace the fat conductor with Ben Carr. Then everything will be everything
he'd
will
be
be
dancing
right.
on the top of the train the whole time.
That's a great image that I would love to
Yeah.
see.
Is that someone out there with art skills could draw Ben Carr from the Bosstones
As Thomas.
on top of Thomas the Tank? That's pretty great. All right, let's talk about the next one. My other skip on the album, spoiler, "Walked Like a Ghost."
It's another vague biopic song.
Oh, surprise!
I like
Stealing your
the
joke
vague
already.
biopic songs.
I just was introduced to this joke an hour ago, and already I'm stealing it.
I actually like this one a lot.
I'm not a big fan of it. I like the keys and the sax, but it doesn't really get there. I think Dickie's singing is actually kind of weak on this song. There are some awkward pauses and awkward lyrics that stop me from really liking it.
It's
I'm not a big fan.
I like the concept of the song. I like the way it sounds, honestly.
And really angry.
I'm wondering who it is actually written about, and who,
Yeah.
who the Willie and Grace people are.
Again, he has a very specific idea of someone he's talking about, but we don't know, and it's too vague to tell.
I like this kind of song where I feel like he knew this dude who died, and it's a nice little song with a nice little hook on it, and it's just Dickie wanting to pay respects.
I like the hook, but I can't get attached to the rest of it. I'd skip it. Sorry.
Well, this one also has like a really nice bridge in it that I like. Do you remember that bridge?
Yeah, I could probably. No, I don't remember the bridge, but I can see why you would like it if it has a good.
The holes had been replaced with. Yeah, the holes had replaced those beautiful brown eyes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're right.
It's
That one's okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's a powerful line of imagery right there, where you're just talking about like a decayed corpse, just had its eyes fall through as a skeleton.
Yeah, imagery is good on this one. I will say that.
So whoever Sarah, Millie, and Grace are, hopefully they're fine. Hopefully they're doing okay.
Yeah, I hope these vague people that we don't know about are okay.
It's a shame. It's I would love to learn more about what this song's about, but I do really like it as it is.
Well, at least you like it, so there's something.
It's not a top 5 though.
Not quite a top 5, but it's not off the album for you. I'd probably cut this one. This and Unified, I think, are my 2 cuts.
I'm gonna guess though that you are kind of a fan of the next one.
Yeah, actually, I do like it a lot. I like the West Ends. This is another one that feels like a classic Bosstones song, in that I think it was written a while ago. It doesn't really feel modern, but I like his flow, and I like the feeling of the song, welcoming somebody to your home. They love their home, they're proud of it, and the people who insult it can fuck off,
Yeah, the chorus is, I really like the chorus on it. Mm-hmm. I think it sounds a bit like a Hot Knives song, actually.
Yeah, you brought that up, and I think you're right. That's a good comparison.
I think it has a lot to do with with the instrumentation. The way the instrumentation sounds at the very beginning of the song sounds exactly like a Hot Knife sound. So
I think you're right.
It's kind of interesting in that aspect, and kind of put me into this already retro kind of mindset, because the Hot Knives are pretty retro in the way they write their music.
It's funny, when you asked me what I thought your favorites would be, this is the one I jumped to. I thought you would like this song a lot. Just, snuck past it into your top 5. Is this in your top 5 or no?
I would put it near the end of the top 5. It does a really good job of, setting the scene.
There are only 2 numbers between, they're in the lighter half of the top 5, Austin, 4 or 5, so pick one of those 2.
I would put it at, 4, probably.
Okay, that's pretty good, actually.
It's a really good song. I love songs that make a scene, like I had said, with good imagery.
Yeah, this one describes what it's about very clearly.
And having moved to sort of an area more similar to what he's probably describing as the West End.
Yeah.
It's I grew up in Indiana, middle nowhere. I had corn, and that was it. So it's
that was it.
I didn't grow.
I lived by corn.
I didn't grow up in Boston. I've been to Boston. I love Boston. But the living in New York for a while now that I've been living here in the city, it's I can understand the feeling that he's talking about. What he's saying.
I think this is still a relatable feeling no matter where you live. Because I lived over in Delaware just my entire life, and I still get this. Why would they say that? This is our home. I still get that.
I would not defend where I lived in Indiana.
Well,
I hated where I lived in Indiana.
Some people just want to get out, which is why I say it makes a great pairing to Green Bay, Wisconsin, because that song's about getting out.
Yeah, that's definitely why that would definitely.
This song is about loving your home.
Green Bay was a solid 2 or 3 for me, for sure.
Yeah, that one's higher up. That one you probably closer relate to. Also, you love the city, so the main character in that song is also about getting towards the city because they like the having the life.
Yeah, it's a brilliant song. It's got a really cool sound to it and a nice retro vibe. It's definitely an old Bosstones feeling.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, that's why I described it as classic, old songs that was probably written a while ago. All right, so let's get on the next one. Here we are.
This is an angry Bosstones song.
Oh god, it's so cool. I love the sax and the horn stuff on this album, on this song. It's so good.
It's another one of those songs that sounds like the whole band's stuck in a bus, driving 1,000 miles down a hill.
Yeah. That's very strong imagery. The band is here for it, dude. All of them.
I guess they needed to have one angry kind of you guys are fucking up song. I picture this one as being about climate change.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's someone has to do something before anyone does anything we will regret forever.
Yeah, that's a good line.
It's definitely the whole band is just pissed off that the scientists are look, we're fucking up. We're getting real close to the point of no return if we haven't passed it already.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are just well, that doesn't matter. The world is round, and then they keep fucking throwing plastic everywhere.
Aw, so the Earth is flat. What are you, dumb?
I said the wrong thing. But especially with the EPA changes as of late, and how incompetent the EPA has been. It's like
Yeah, the Environmental Protection Agency.
yeah, it's been that's why it screams kind of environmental to me without being very specific, because it could mean like it could be about war or all sorts of other shit as well.
It's a call to action. That's what you're talking about. Yeah. And the breakdown is really sweet. I really like the breakdown on this one. But I got nothing but positives. I mean, it was originally my number 2. It slid down a bit because I had to make room for my number 1. But it made number 4. That's really good.
Do you know who does the kind of rapping bridge in this song?
Oh, fucking I didn't write it down. No.
It's interesting because I'm looking at the lyrics on Genius.com for the song,
Yeah.
and there's some question marks because they're not sure what the person is
Yeah,
saying.
I did see the question marks on the lyrics.
It's a little funny.
That's so funny because they couldn't tell what he was trying to say. There's some question marks on some of the lyrics pages for this album.
Whose premise, whose plan, whose bad idea? That's not important.
Whose premise, whose plan, whose bad idea?
Get us out of here.
I'm pretty sure that's still Dickie.
That did not sound like Dickie.
I'm pretty sure it's Dickie.
He must have been changing his voice to get there, though.
He doesn't use any voice changes. He just has a very dynamic voice.
I know that, but you have to change. He has to change the voice to the other voice that he's doing. He doesn't need machinery for it.
He had to hit the toggle on the back of his neck. Just.
He's got a button on his back like Buzz Lightyear.
Buzz, Lightyear. Alright, let's move on to the next one. The Mad Dash.
Stop the slogans on the t-shirts, watch them fly out of the shops. I don't like what I've been thinking, and I think it's time it stops.
I like this one a lot too.
This is my favorite song on the album.
I'm not surprised by that.
This is my number 1, and it snuck up on me. Every time I listened to the album, I was just like, can I just hear that one again? I kept listening to it over and over
It's
again.
exactly like how The Constant was for me.
Yeah, it's very danceable, and it fits well alongside the other jams on the album. It has a great horn line, and my god, do I love a good horn line.
What do you think it's about, exactly? It's another song with great imagery, so I got a very clear picture of what I think it's about.
Yeah, because part of the song is about rushing to be the first on something and not really caring for the quality of something. Trying to shift the spotlight so the spotlight shines on you is a good one. I like that line. And of course the chorus, it is stale and it is stagnant, every fiber, every fragment. And of course, telling someone goodbye, hope you had a nice evening, thank you for your contribution, and we're glad you came.
Yeah.
It's about dismissing the other people.
See, I actually got an image of like a protest. The way that the song is paced and how big it is, it makes it sound like it's like people marching down a street for a cause, and like more people kind of filling in until like it's a huge parade of
Yeah, there's some of that
protesters.
in the second verse that benefits fundraisers and events.
Yeah, and I think all that stuff about stale and fragment and wasting time on something that's a mistake and all that is like it's directed towards like the politicians who are just like they've got shit policy, and there are a lot of problems that no one is dealing with.
Yeah, the protesters are being dismissed by the politicians and higher ups who just say it's a waste.
Yeah, so that's the kind of
they're a political band, so it makes sense.
It's another thing I got. Yeah, so I really like the imagery I found in this song. It's got a really great sound, and I'm not surprised at all that it's your number one.
Yeah.
This one is probably number 5.
Okay, so hey, it makes it in the top 5. I'm pretty happy about that.
Or maybe number 4. I don't know. Everything's number 4 for me.
It started at my 5, and it just snuck up on me over and over again. I just really like it. The only problem I have with it is I think it's too short. It could have been expanded upon more. Yeah, it's only like 2.5 minutes? It's pretty short.
I would call it concise.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it hits all of its points. I feel like we could have had another verse in there or something. So I'm begging. I'm just begging for more of it, to be honest. I'm pleading. Can you play that song again?
Yeah.
I want to hear it again.
I really do like that one. It's just I just don't think it's as good as you think it is, I guess.
I don't know. I can't explain it. I just really like it.
It's a very good song, and I'm glad that you do like it quite a lot.
That's something.
It's got great imagery. It's got a great pacing. It's got a good sound.
But it's alright. We're almost done with this. We got a couple more songs to go through. We got Absolutely Wrong.
This is one of my favorite songs on the album.
Really?
I really like this song.
Oh boy.
I think this has got like the most clever lyrics in it. The opening on it I really like a lot.
Oh, I can feel the Royal Oil on this one. This one sounds a lot like Royal Oil when you compare them right next to each other.
Plus, I love how it seems to like switch after the first verse.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a swap.
Yeah, this is a ska song about being like sorry about being wrong about something. And then the entire rest of the song is just like shitting on whoever the person was talking about the verse.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. I really love
You're
that.
absolutely wrong this time. Could not be any further from the truth.
It's really
Not
good.
let me know how come. I like the keys and the bass, but I think the rest of the song is just kind of there for me. It doesn't really impress me as much as I wanted it to. It's not a skip, though. I like it. I wouldn't put it near my top 5, but I think it's pretty solid. I think it's a good song. So, hey, coming off Mad Dash into Absolutely Wrong actually feels really good. That feels like a very natural transition.
Yeah, it's all about the verses in here for me.
Yeah, the chorus isn't quite as good, but the verses are great.
Yeah, the verses are so good in this song.
They're really tight. I'm glad you like this, and we can talk about the lyrics on this one.
Yeah, it's just very clever and tight. And they sound great. Dickie sounds really good in these choruses. Out of spite, out of mind, and with all due respect, you're way out of line.
Yeah, out of spite, out of mind. I recognize that one. That was really good.
And the very first line was real. I like the second line a lot, where it's you were right, I was rude, I saw the light when it was further reviewed. It's just like it sounds really good.
Yeah, it's really like
it flows exceptionally.
Yes, yeah, it does.
It sounds brilliant. I really do like this song a lot. So I'd have it at like a number 3 spot, I think.
We figured it out. What we
Not
knew
2.
all along. 2 sides to every story told. One is right and one is wrong. Ouch. I said right. One is right and one is wrong. I got my W's. I got my elbow fud sticking out.
That was I think that was a Freudian slip, and you're actually a white supremacist, Kyle.
No! Don't say that! I don't want anybody thinking that I'm a white supremacist. Ew.
It ties back to the opening gag of the show.
Oh, it's been a while, Austin. It's been a while, alright? Also, I think any racist can use the term Japs. I don't think they have to be white supremacists. I'm glad I brought it back. We're bringing it back.
That's a very that's a reference to an earlier episode.
Yeah, that's episode
Also
1.
very funny. Kyle gets the funny prize today.
Yes! The funny prize. I made you laugh 2 times today.
That was very good.
That's a record.
Yeah, and you know what? In honor of, that's the next song on the track.
That's good. Yeah, it's also skip.
You don't, you don't like
Like in honor of. I think it's part of the same rut that Wonderful Day for the Race has. It's generic. It doesn't do anything new for me as a Bosstone fan, but it's also not. It's like a fat on the song, and I kind of want to trim it off. I know we talked earlier about I love eating fat. All right, everybody loves eating fat on albums, right? But sometimes it's also just filler, and it's gray, and it's bland, and it's tasteless and lukewarm. That's all this song is for me. It's not that great.
As funny as it tasteless and lukewarm is, I have to disagree on this one, honestly.
Really?
I really do like the song a lot.
This goes on too long.
I don't think the length bothers me as much.
Yeah, we've had this discussion before where I think it's just our personal preferences now coming down here. Because you don't mind that kind of stuff, but I do. I'm very much into, I think a song should be tight, you know.
Also Hi, another vague biopic song.
We got another one after this, too.
I kind of relate to this in a way because of my political leanings. I've got a very odd political background where I was brought up in like a super Republican household, and then became kind of a libertarian, which a lot of those libertarian ideas I kind of hold on to still, and then became more liberal as the years went on. So now I'm kind of, I focus on policy that just expands freedom as much as possible, and kind of, the freedom of the individual above all else, and try to maximize happiness and efficiency in government. I have a lot of libertarian ideas, along with, doing stuff like expanding welfare and shit like that. So and of course social freedoms. But there are lots of people on the libertarian side who don't fit with me because of they're conservative libertarians, or I'm more of like, I'm not that. I'm not a conservative libertarian. But I have good conversations with them because they're libertarians, and they're not like crazy neoconservatives or crazy left-leaning.
They're still capable of having, a good conversation.
Yeah, like there are some people who I have like interesting debates with, and it's all very civil, and it's a good time. And this is one of those. This song kind of is like that for me, where it's like you're honoring maybe a ideological combatant who has been, who you've been respectful with. You might not agree with them, you might not call them a friend, but you respect them, and there's a little camaraderie.
That's really funny coming right after Absolutely Wrong, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
That's really funny. Like, the song before this, shitting on the last guy, and then this song is, I respect you.
I know, I like it. And of course, it comes down to the bridge as well. The bridge in this song I like a lot as well.
Well, there you go. You have some good things to say about it, at least. I like the end where it solos out Dickie and the guitar. That's kind of cute.
Yeah, it's a really, the ending bridge where it does that is amazing.
That's pretty cute.
I do love it a lot.
I like that. But the song, it just goes on too long for me. And usually when the band has like a short and sweet song, like maybe not even that great, like Unified's not that great, I'm okay with it. But when it doesn't, when it's not short or not sweet, I can feel it drag, and I feel a little bit of feet dragging on this one. It got to a point where I just ended up skipping it.
I think the music sounds great. I like the message it sends. I relate to it. And the final bridge with Dickie alone, and it kind of ramps up near the end for the final chorus, is incredibly well done.
That's fair. You know what? I'll give it to you. I can't be too upset. But
So,
we gotta talk about one last vague biopic, and then we'll be almost done with the album.
Yep, it's the last vague biopic.
It's about Hugo's wife.
But like most of the vague biopics on this album, I like this one a lot too.
I do like this one a lot, actually. Coming off the last one, I feel like it's really funny. It's cheeky. The whole band is putting a lot of effort into this one. I think it shows off the talents of the band a lot. And I like the, not on your watch, not on this life.
Yeah, this is
good.
This is like the song where the chorus is actually the best part of it for me.
It's a very accurate portrayal of a strong wife that don't take no guff.
Yeah, again, I want to really know what the story behind this song is.
I think it's about Hugo's wife, whoever Hugo is.
I want to know who Hugo is.
Yeah, tangentially, I want to know who that is.
I want to know what the conflict is that they're suffering together.
And that she's got to pull him through, because she's tough.
Yeah, again, on the kind of like weird history stuff I'm into, I was going through the history of the Benz company, like the motor company. I think it was the Benz I was going through, but they like that dude almost gave up on building like the first good car. He like almost gave up like 1,000 times, but his wife was like pushing him through it and like funding him and everything.
That's really cool.
And she, like, to test the car, she stole it. She stole the experimental car because they weren't gonna test it, and like took it on like the first road like testing without telling him. Like he left him a note. And she just took it on the first road trip. She's like, I'm gonna drive this car as far as I can, and just she was like a really great lady, like behind the dude.
Went out of her way to be supportive, so much so that she knew what was best for him and did it anyway.
Yeah, she was like a real badass, back in like 1880 or whatever it was.
Pretty cool, man. I can respect that.
So it's like a song about that kind of person is like something I can really get into.
Yeah, this one, it doesn't make it into my top 5. but close. Very close. I think I'd put this at 6 or 7. I think this is a really good song.
It's unfortunate. This is a 14-track album, and so many of the songs are so good. It's hard to fit stuff in the top.
It is. I will say that a lot of the songs are on the same like high level of quality that I come to expect from the band, and that's why it made making the top 5 so hard. It changed around a lot for me. First impressions were tricky.
The vague biopic songs would be great to like animate into a music video.
Yeah, you know what? I think so, because then you can actually put, a face to the names.
Yeah, I would love to do up a storyboard for this song, honestly.
Ooh, that'd be good. Yeah, this song, I think, deserves a good video. But alright, after that, last song, After the Music is Over.
I'm conflicted on this one.
This song's long. It's the longest song on the whole album, but it's very jazzy. So honestly, I think it fits here.
It's vintage. I like the way it sounds. It's kind of a novelty at the end.
Novelty song, definitely. It works as an ending song.
It's a bit of a dessert song, actually. It's like the sweet kind of novelty song at the end.
Oh, okay, yeah, I can see that.
The only
I don't know why I squeaked.
the only problem is I've got like a personal thing for it, I guess. Like my personal taste on it is that I just don't care about anything that happens the first 3.5 minutes of the song.
Yeah, you put out 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Like everything before that is just whatever.
Yeah, it's after that point, like the whole band is singing together about. It feels like after that, the whole band's singing together about when the music ends and all that great shit.
It does feel very triumphant, yeah.
Yeah, I like the quiet bit before the group singing when Dickie's got his minute to sing on his own.
Yeah, it's very questioning. I like that bit.
Unfortunately, I just really like everything after the 3 and 40 minute. It's like a sweet after a big dinner, but the sweet has got like caramel in it, and I don't really like caramel, so I'm just gonna kind of eat around it and get to the vanilla ice cream.
Wow, you're really taking the descriptive words to task here. But it's got caramel. I don't like caramel.
I don't.
That's your description, but I'm just gonna leave it at that. I think that's perfect.
It's like I know other people like caramel.
I agree.
It's a sweet novelty at the end, but it's like it's not for me though.
Yeah, you like the cake, but not the topping.
Yeah. So
you have to literally scrape the toppings off, and then you eat the cake underneath.
I really like the cake though. It's underneath.
That's a good analogy. I'll take that one.
I really like everything after the 340 mark.
Yeah. But prior to that, not so good.
Nah, not so good.
For you. I think it's solid. I think it's okay.
If I could just take everything after the 340 mark and stretch it out another like minute, then I'd be a lot happier with it.
I think I like the build-up. I think the build-up has a lot to do with, winding the album down. And I like I said, I like the jazzy aspect of it. I think it's very good. I was gonna say, this sounds a lot closer to a song Tokyo Ska Paradise Orchestra would put out.
Maybe. I'm not too into like the gospel sound that they were doing like in the middle.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that was
I'm not into that sound, and I think the build-up takes way too long to get going.
That's fair. I've said the same thing with other songs.
Yeah, this one takes too long.
Too long. 3.5 minutes for you.
Yeah, the whole song to get to the song I like is not good.
Okay.
Make it its own track so I can skip it.
Cut out half. Split the song in half so you can just cut out the good part.
It's like the hidden track on the end of the Rubik Fish album, where it's like, here's 6 minutes of like the ambient
silence, yeah.
Ambient, what is it? Ambient noise at the end of a show, and then an actual music.
Right, because they did that too.
It's a bittersweet end, which I suppose is fitting for the end of the album. But I like very much the latter half of this song.
Okay. Let's take that. That's our takeaway from After the Music is Over. The latter half is good. Alright, so overall, I give this album an 8 out of 10. I think it has some, like, maybe 1 or 2, like, weak tracks, but nothing bad enough to say it's a bad album. It's actually a really good album. I only cut...
It's a really good album, yeah.
Maybe those two. Whatchamacallit? What did I mention? Not In Honor. Yeah, I skipped Walk Like a Ghost and Unified. I'd cut out. Like, just out of the album altogether.
Yeah, Unified would definitely come out and I'd have to reorder something.
Just doesn't need to be there. And then I take Walk Like a Ghost because I don't really like it. In Honor of is generic, but I'll keep it on the album. I'd just probably skip it.
if I had to give it a number, I'd probably give it an 8.5.
Oh, that's a little bit higher. You enjoyed it slightly more than I did.
Yeah, I mean the stuff I really liked the stuff I liked.
Yeah, for sure. I really like this album, and I'm looking forward to hearing it again. I would recommend this album to Bosstones fans, for sure. But I think it'll leave new fans wanting a little more. I don't think it's a perfect Bosstones album, and I don't even think it's like one of their all-time best. But I do think it's really good. I think it belongs in the top 5 of Bosstones albums. I think it's better than at least four or five of their other albums.
I think it's got the ability to maybe actually crossplay a little bit. I feel like they could pick up a lot of non-traditionally ska band fans. You know?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, for sure.
So I hope that they kind of get some more new ears onto it.
This one has a more accessibility to it, I think.
Yeah. So hopefully, I don't think any young kids who are listening to like the top 40 are going to be interested in this, but maybe like some people Dickie's age who want something new to listen to will find it. Unfortunately,
yeah, sure. Like our audience, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, the dabbing youth aren't going to be too into it. They're too busy. The
dabbing, fidget spinning, Fortnite playing youth.
That was, you've hit every single thing I was going to say. I can't think of anything else.
The calling Damatukusita at 3 a.m. youth.
The Despacito 2 youth.
Alright, come on. This is going to get really... We're aging this one really hard now. It's August 2018, so when I look back at this in 5 years and fucking laugh my ass off.
When we're on Despacito 8.
Yeah, when the Mighty Mighty Bosstones have put out 10 more albums.
10 more albums.
10 more, yeah.
They'll have released a half of an album by that point.
That's it, alright? I think we're done with the Mighty Mighty Bosstones. We've talked about a bunch of them. We've talked about this album. And I think now it's time to talk about that thing that we mentioned a bunch of times in other episodes, but I've still not gotten to, ska covers.
Yeah, that's right. I get to, you've ruined the illusion, but I was going to pick as my choice for the next topic would be to do our top 5 ska covers.
Yes, that is true, yeah.
So ska and covers, or covers in ska, is kind of a trait I feel is kind of tied to it now, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
It was around from the very beginning.
Yeah, it was around for a long time, and there's a lot of history behind it, as you've mentioned before. There's a lot of like style and variety to it. There's so many different things, and I love that could be applied to ska, or ska can be applied to.
It's a brilliant thing. There's lots of variety, and I'm of the mind that a ska cover almost universally improves a song.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned that before. I'm not entirely in agreement, but I do think there are some really great ones that do end up topping the original in some cases. So we'll get to it. We'll get to it. I think next time it'll be a really good episode. So we're not going to be reviewing an album. We're going to be talking about like the covers we love. So I think that'll be good. I think that'll be a good episode. Yep. I'm looking forward to it, man.
So is the sponge cover of Santeria going to be on there for you?
You know what? Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. We don't know yet. We haven't made our lists yet.
The only song you liked from the album.
That's not true. I like No Woman No Cry. Also.
The other
cover.
All right, so
the 2 songs that aren't theirs. Hey, man. I mean, they did a great job.
Yeah. That'll be a fun thing to do. So I'll be excited. It's going to be agonizing to try and make a top 5.
There's going to be a lot of surprises and tough choices. Let me tell you what.
It may have to come down to not being a top 5 as much as it's like a top 5 of this episode in no particular order.
Yeah, honestly, I've been thinking of maybe in no particular order we do, because I don't think I can order them. It's going to be hard, man. Let's see what we come up with next time. But for now, I think that's it. We should sign off.
All right, so that was our awful podcast, and you all have suffered enough. So we're going to end it now by playing a sound clip of Thomas the Tank Engine and Ben Carr dancing on his hood with tap dancing sounds. So you'll have to use your imagination to fill in the visual gaps, as we'll just be supplying the audio for it.
I just wanted to see what you'd come up with to end the podcast.
So I'll have to have Kyle. He'll have to find a ska version of Thomas the Tank Engine and then edit some tap dancing sound into it. And then we'll be all set.
Alright, that's it for the Rude Boys podcast. I've been Kyle Long.
I've been in immeasurable pain, and I'm Austin. So that's the end of the show.
Great, thanks. Alright, keep on skanking, everybody.